Hey guys, what's up? It's Sam Cook, and today I am hanging with an amazing woman, Joanne Vivolo. Unbelievable woman, mother, blogger, social media influencer, author. I'm telling you, this woman is amazing and full of positivity, and I can't wait for you to hear more about her. Joanne, I'm so excited to chat with you.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited.
All of this and more on Sam Cook Live.
5, 4,
3,
2, 1. Here we go.
This is Sam Cook Live.
Joanne Vivolo.
That's right.
Viva. That's how you remember it?
That's what I tell people to do to remember it, because it's kind of a hard name sometimes, right? So.
Yeah, like, because I was thinking, oh, is it Vivolo? But Viva. Yeah.
Vivolo.
Yeah.
Vivolo.
It's a great way to remember it.
Yes.
And man, like, could you be any more beautiful?
Aw, thank
For
you.
those that are listening, blonde, blue-eyed, beauty bombshell.
For those that are listening and not just watching, go and watch, because seriously, Sam and I are twinning.
We are. We're twinsies.
I've always said it. We look so much alike.
But you're the much younger version of me.
I guarantee I'm not, but you are. Yeah, you're fabulous. You're so. I don't know why you're not in my book.
Right. So Joanne has written this amazing book, and it's called Femme Fabulous. And we are going to talk about this book because honestly, she's an author. She is a social media influencer. She is a mother. And there's just so much to cover. And I want to talk to you a little bit about, you know, you do all these things on social media. And by the way, if you hear anything, it's my dog is walking around here during the broadcast. So if you hear any barks or anything, she's visiting. And you have a cute dog too.
I do.
Like,
They're
what
so
kind of dog do
amazing.
you have?
They're such amazing creatures. So she is a teacup Morkie. She's 4 pounds.
I mean,
she has a luxated leg, which, you know, she wasn't really wanted. And
Aww.
so we took her in, and we have not done the surgery. It's very extensive. It's kind of risky a little bit for her because she's such a small dog. Mm-hmm. And it costs a lot of money, but it doesn't hurt her. So we're fine that she has 3 legs. Mm-hmm. Some people cringe at it a little bit. And I sometimes, get told, why aren't you fixing that? But it's like saying to somebody in a wheelchair, why aren't you fixing your problem, right? So we love her just the same. She is amazing, even with her luxated leg.
And what is luxated? What is that?
So that's when her leg, her kneecap is fused. So
okay.
it's
kind of
it's
stiff,
sideways.
right?
The problem with her is not just an easy luxation. It is actually, I think they call it a grade 4. So her kneecap is actually on the inside of her leg, and it's fused into the bone.
Okay.
So they literally, I don't know if they have to take parts of the bone out and then put some rods or something. Like it's a major thing.
Oh,
so
that's so sad.
it is. Our vet advised us that we don't have to do anything about it, that
Right,
she's
right.
not in any pain or anything from it. So it's fine. It's just she can't use that one back leg. And if it becomes bothersome for her, they can amputate the leg. But if it's not bothering her, we decided not to go through that
Exactly.
extent. Yeah.
Man.
And she's amazing. She is so cute.
Like, I mean, my dog here is a Morkie as well, but she's 7 pounds. She's not a teacup, but man, Morkies are unbelievable dogs.
They're
Not only are they
such
cute,
amazing souls,
but they are. And like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just like roll over and she'll be there under the covers, head on the pillow. And I'm just like, I love her so much. And every time I do a broadcast, she is, she hops over and she wants to sit on the chair like she is now and be a part of it.
Now you know why they say animals are man's best friend.
That's it.
Right?
I mean,
they
really.
steal your heart instantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I cannot even imagine I am a dog mom and being a dog mom like you are and a mom of 3.
Yes. So
how do you
know what?
do it?
Being a mom is the most favorite thing in the whole world for me. I mean, my kids are everything. I left my corporate job in Toronto making, 6 figures to be at home with my children because I didn't have children, for everyone else to raise them. I wanted children so
Right.
I could raise them with my morals and my standards and my ethics and my practical ways. So I gave it all up. But in a sense, I gave it up for my children, but I always knew that I still wanted to do something while being at home because there is no possible way I can sit around and just color all day. Like I can't. So I started writing, and I shouldn't say I started writing. I turned my writing into a more full-time outlet for myself. And then over time, it kind of grew and it evolved into a blog and into more of the social aspect of it, because social platforms are huge. Hey, we're on a social platform now. And they're huge. They're huge in our world, and you can't ignore it, right? You really can't ignore it. And people are kind of demanding of it, right? They read your content and they want to see you. They want to know what kind of person you are. They connect with you through your words and what you say and your blogs and whatnot. And then they say, who is this person? And when they can match a face to the words, and then they hear your voice, as you know, Sam, voice is a big part of human connection as well. Sometimes you hear a voice. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I sometimes fall asleep to some soothing podcasts. And I'm like, their voice is just so comforting that, you can, I do a lot of, I listen to a lot of meditation podcasts and whatnot, some mantras, just like repetitive mantras that go on. And my husband sometimes thinks I'm a little wacky for doing that, but it is, I teach my children those things. So yes, being a mom is, I always say mom first, boss second. I know some people reverse it, right? And they say boss first, but no, I'm sorry, mom first.
Yeah.
Always.
And I mean, again, I'm not a mother. I'm a dog mom, but my dog always comes first, even though I know it's not the same and it's laughable.
No, it is. It totally is the same. It's not laughable. I promise you it's not laughable. It is the same. It really is.
Now, I love the fact that, you're at home, you're a mom, and you still want to be a boss. So you decide, okay, I'm going to start blogging, which is amazing. But not only did you start blogging, but you actually wrote a book about it. So tell me a little bit about that, because I know that there's a lot of people who they want that creative outlet. They want to be able to say what they feel, but they're afraid to. So what does your book teach people? I mean, this is a book that you wrote a few years ago. Was it
last year.
Was it last year? Only last year? Okay.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of books in between.
I challenged myself and I wrote 3 books in a year.
Okay, because I was going to say, because I knew the blog book came out a while ago, but I literally thought it was 2 years ago, but a year ago. That's good for you.
It really blew up. And you know what? And I'm so glad it did for multiple reasons. The thing is, people want a blog. Or they've started a blog and they're like, okay, now what? Like, what's happening with this? And I wrote it, I shared it on my social media, and I got 2 likes, right? Like some people, and some people do that through social media, and that's okay, by the way. That really is, because social media isn't the only outlet for blogs. But what I turned around and did is, so people were DMing me. They were private messaging me saying, how do I do this? And how do you make money from a blog? Like you blog because you want your information out there, but you also don't want to do it for free. Like you have to obviously build your audience and whatnot. So I was like, I'm getting so many questions about this, and I'm a sharer. I'm a total sharer, and I'm like, share. Yeah,
we spoke about that. We'll talk about that in a second.
Share the success, everything else. So I literally wrote a book from the minute you want a blog to getting your blog out there into whatever aspect through your platforms of any sort. And it's a step-by-step guide. I didn't hold back. I told people what equipment I use and how to do it without spending a ton of money. Yes. So we spoke about equipment and the cost of equipment. Yeah. Well, if you saw some of the ways that I take pictures, you'd kind of like chuckle a little bit at me, to the point where sometimes I have like a lamp sideways. So that it depends.
But you've got to do what you've got to do, and it doesn't even matter. Like you don't need the expensive equipment. I think nowadays, I'm all about the perfect light, the perfect camera, the perfect sound. But I've seen videos that have got millions of hits, and it's someone in their dark bedroom with their phone, And it doesn't matter. Content, I think, is content. And sometimes we maybe are too invested in trying to make it the best when you don't need to.
Right. But with that being said, there is nothing wrong with upgrading as you go, right? Because when you first start, you're doing it because you have a passion and a love for it. And then as you are succeeding, as you are gaining traction, as your platform is growing, then you can, what I always say, level up. I call it leveling up.
Yeah.
And then you can level up your equipment or anything, right? And it takes time. If you go and rush out and grab high-end equipment and spend tons of money on everything right from the beginning, you're going to go bust quickly, right? Or you lose interest. What if you're like, blogging really isn't for me? I like doing it, but then I got this amazing job opportunity and it's something I always wanted to do, and you give up blogging because passions change over time.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
And that should be a song, Passions Change.
Maybe that's your new book title.
Drake.
Oh.
You did passion fruit? Can you do passion changes? I don't know. Just saying.
Well, one of the things I love about you is you did mention you're a sharer. So on your social media, you're always trying to help the next person be the best that they could be.
Yes.
A lot of your messages, especially in your new book that we'll talk about in a second, is a lot of, let me share the information that I have with you. And there's a lot of people out there that don't do that. I'm not going to tell you what mic I'm using, and I'm not going to tell you, right? But there's a lot of people like that. And you say, hey, like, I'm really interested in doing that, but, what equipment do you have? And people are so scared to share to make someone else successful. So what is it about you that makes you just want to share all that information?
Because I found that I wanted to be the sharer because I had to dig deep. I had to go through the learning curves.
Yeah.
I had to do the trial and errors. I had to fail 101 times just to succeed that 102nd time. And I don't want people to do that. If the resources are there, if the knowledge is there, if it's there, then why not succeed right from the get-go? And it's hard enough to succeed, right? I mean, like on social media, you are working like a dog to get followships and everything else.
Yeah.
People follow you and then they drop off, or there's all kinds of reasons why your followship grows and decreases. But why not have the proper tools in the right order at the beginning? And that's what really triggers a lot of things. It was the Housewife's Guide to Blogging is the main point of why I put that out. Also, shameless plug here, if you do a digital download of that book instead of buying a hard copy, all the links are hyperlinked. So you literally have to click on it and it's going to take you right to whatever resource it is that I'm talking about, whether it's what platform to use, what app you can use for, blurring out backgrounds or whatnot. So cool. Some of the updated phones do that already. So
yeah, you have one of those updated phones, don't you?
I do.
I saw a picture of your little doggy, and it's really cool. It's the new iPhone, I think, has that blurred 3D.
It's a 3D. It's 3D. It's 3D imaging.
So cool.
Amazing, right? Like technology. You think about it. Okay, so I'm going to totally divulge my age here, but I'm a 70s baby. And in the 80s, technology was kind of happening. 90s, it was a little bit more of a boom. But I found the 2000s, we have advanced tenfold. You think about the technology. So when I was in college, I got a computer for the first time in my life, whereas I didn't have to go to the computer lab and like try to find time, right? And stay there till all hours.
I'm laughing because this is familiar to me.
Right. So I got a Hewlett-Packard computer. I was so amazed. It had Mavis Beacon teaches typing in it. And I taught myself how to type with Mavis Beacon. It was so awesome.
Unbelievable.
And then we have a mutual friend. And so years ago, we come from Radio Land, both you and I, and we have a mutual friend. And her and I, we opened up City Girl Productions. I don't even know if you remember that. Anyway, long story short.
Sounds familiar.
I want to say we were ahead of our time. So we had a website built from a company. They were called Dotted Dog at the time, and I don't think they're around. And we used Trade or Contra is what we called it in radio.
Yes.
So they built our website for us, and Exchange we put their logo on anything we were doing, whether it was attire. I had underwear made up with Dotted Dog on it. Like it was so amazing, and it was such a fun. And it was a production thing that my girlfriend and I were doing. But the bottom line to that was he built this website for us, and it was an interactive website. So before social media was a thing, I would come on every Thursday night or something, and I would do like group chat kind of thing.
Really?
So I would have all these windows opened up on my computer, and I'm like chatting away with people, and it was a social platform, which if only I knew what I was doing then.
Back then, you could have made millions.
I could have been rich. Yeah.
And you mentioned, too, that you come from a radio background. You have done a lot of stuff in the media. So this is not your first rodeo. Writing a book is just one of the many things that you've done. And you've worked for some major Toronto radio stations.
Yes.
And you've done some TV work, too.
I've done TV as well. Yeah.
So you've done it all.
I've been I still do some TV work. I have an agent, and she, so I was out at an audition yesterday.
Oh,
and,
good
so
luck.
Fingers crossed on that one. So, it's a competitive world. And it's another reason why I want to share. It's so competitive out there. Why wouldn't you want to give your tips and tricks to people? When you think about it, people Google, right? How do I do this? And they Google it, which, hopefully my blog comes up on that. But people Google because they need the information. So it's there. It's there for the access of people, whoever. Sometimes you get really crappy information, but...
Well, the information that you have. So this is your new book, Femme Fabulous. Yes. And it really is fabulous. And I love that you're showcasing women that are positive and have positive messages.
Right.
And in the book, I noticed as well a couple of quotes that I just wanted to go over here. And one of the things was you said that this book, when it's difficult to ignite their passion to fuel their soul, is one of the quotes. So what is it that you tell people who are sitting there that want to do something and can't?
Okay, so that is such a multifaceted question.
It is.
There's so much involved with. I'm always saying it's time that we start bettering ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. And as a mom, I am so guilty of putting my husband and my children first before myself. I do it all the time. And with every life upgrade, you kind of need to be coached along it, right? We're not experts in everything in life. And so I have a coach. I have a life coach. And she is teaching me like amazing things. So I think that is important. That's something that I do for myself. So when we talk about passion and igniting that in yourself, everybody has something that they admire or that they want to do, that they have passion for. But nobody in this world is going to say, I'm going to get you started. Because you like it, you have to, you literally have to look in the mirror and say, it's my time. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to ignite my passion, and I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You might fail, and that's okay. And that's a whole new subject, because with failure and mistakes is major growth, right? Because how can you learn if you haven't made a mistake? So don't look at mistakes as failures. Mistakes are, I call them mini miracles. They are what gets you to your next level.
And that leads me to some of the quotes that are in your book as well. You have some mantras in your book.
Yeah.
I can do anything I set my mind to. I attract all my dreams, and I am worth it. And there's a list of messages, and I'm sorry that the dog is barking there. She's just protecting us because she heard someone drive by. But these mantras are so important. And I read a book years ago that basically said something very similar. Say these mantras to yourself. And I just, I thought, okay, whatever. And I never did. And as I got older and over the past couple of years, I started thinking, okay, maybe there's some value to that. And there really is value to telling yourself that you are good enough. And also some of these mantras like, I am healthy.
Yes.
I am worthy. And it's almost like you're talking to yourself in the future.
Okay, so it sounds really cliche. It does, right? And I teach my children these things. I'm always trying to I don't sugarcoat it and be like, "Oh yeah, you're the great at baseball." If they're not, I'm going to say to them, "Listen, you need some practice." I mean, I'm not oblivious to showcasing constructive criticism either. But being constructive is the key word, right?
Right.
You can't it's not to put someone down, it's to help elevate
Yeah.
them. But when we look at ourselves, I can guarantee we are our worst critic.
Yeah.
We will look in the mirror and go, "Oh my God, the lines on my face. I'm having a
Yeah,
bad
right
hair
now,
day.
look at that."
I gained 5 pounds. I stopped working out." Like there's so many things. It's so easy for us to criticize ourselves. Why isn't it easy for us to boost ourselves or to compliment ourselves? Right? It's not vain. It really isn't. I mean, if you're walking around with a huge ego, then yes, that's vain. But when you're telling yourself, "I can do it," I always say to my children, your brain will believe anything you tell it. If you tell your brain, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm not good enough for the volleyball team," guess what? You're not going to be good enough for it because you've told your brain that. If you tell your brain, "Oh my God, I've got this crazy cold. I'm going to be in bed for a week with it," you're going to be in bed for a week with it. If you tell your brain, "Oh my God, I got this cold, but I'm getting on the treadmill and I might not be able to do a 20-minute run, but I'm going to do a 5-minute run because I know that's going to boost my energy and my your body's fighting mechanisms," because exercise always does. Even if it's 5 minutes. When you tell yourself, "I am going to walk into this audition and I am going to nail it."
Yes.
What you do, I don't know if anybody saw this on the live feed, instantly my face lit up and I got a smile. Whenever I'm talking about anything negative, you see it. Your face drains, like you really see it. But when you talk positive, all of a sudden you're sitting a little more straighter, your smile, you know this too, when you're
Yes.
voicing and stuff. If you're smiling during your voiceovers, you feel it. You feel the energy and it comes out in your voice as well. So what you tell yourself, you will believe. So be careful on what you're telling yourself. And if you're not comfortable with mantras, then do it when no one's around. So there's nothing to feel uncomfortable about. Put a sticky note on your mirror in the morning when you're brushing your teeth. And whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you're going for that day. And you're like, I'm going to, for me, it's mostly auditions because for as long as I've been doing it, I'm still nervous going into them.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to see that, but I have been doing the mantras that, you know what, I'm not nervous, right? I can walk in with full confidence now, and whether I get the job or not is not affecting me at that moment.
Right.
I'm just going to go in. I'm going to do what I've been practicing to do, and I'm just going to do it. So telling yourself positive things over and over, "I look beautiful today." What is wrong with that? What's wrong with saying that?
People are afraid to say that.
Feel uncomfortable
Yeah.
saying it. But once you say it over and over again, you really start believing it.
So when you're having a bad day, is that the first thing you do? Is you start to do you recognize you're having a bad day and
Yes.
start to say,
So
"I'm having a good day"?
I'm having a bad day, but that it'll pass, and that doesn't define me. Just because I'm having a bad day doesn't mean I'm having a bad life. I'm just having a moment.
Wow. And that's so important because
is.
I know there are times, and I'm guilty of this, where I will think something is just the end of the world. And I have a really difficult time switching to that positivity. I really do. And sometimes I'm guilty of just basking in the sadness. And sometimes it's easier to do that than it is to start pulling out these positive mantras. So what advice do you have for someone who's just so down in the dumps? Is it just to wake up and maybe say, like, "I am worthy" when I wake up first thing in the morning?
It's a process. It really is. It's something that you have to dedicate yourself to. And in some of my books, so Lush and Lux, Powered by Positivity, that was the book that I wrote before Femme Fabulous. It's another motivational book. And I actually give you tools and tricks and stuff to change the perception of things, change your own perception, induce clarity in what it is what you're doing. And it is a process. You're not going to wake up all of a sudden and be like, hey, I'm super positive.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody would believe me, but I was the most negative person.
I don't believe that at all.
Ever. I swear it was, it's a shift. It's been a shift that I've been dealing with for quite a few years. And how I started was before I spoke, I would literally think about what it is that I'm about to say. And is there any negative connotations in that? Am I being negative in any way? And if I am, how can I reword it to make it a positive statement, even though it's a negative subject? Right? So does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So I was really focused on changing any negative wording coming out of my mouth into a positive word, because what you exude into the universe, you will attract back. And again, that's a whole another subject and element in what I feel is important in how we are as humans and what kind of energy we're giving off. But this didn't happen overnight for me either. So a trick that I used was that, so turning any kind of negative wording into something positive. Another super great trick that I like to use is what I call a joy list. And you're like, okay, what?
I want to know what this is. I'm interested.
It sounds a little basic, but it's anything but. And I'm so extra. I mean, Sam, how long have you known me for? I'm a little extra when it comes to things. I take it to whole new levels because I just love like super pretty things and making things fabulous. So a joy list comes from at the end of the day. I like to do it at the end of the day. And I'll tell you what you can do at the beginning of the day. But at the end of the day, I like to just write out a little list on any scrap of paper or anything, or take out some really fine paper that you like to make it look pretty, and write down anything that was joyful for you in that day, right? And then when you're writing it, think about, how did that make me feel? Oh my God, it was amazing when, somebody bought me a coffee today of mine. That's never happened to me before. So that brought me joy. And it's almost like a to-do list, but the reverse. It's the things that you did and you accomplished that day. So you know what? It doesn't have to be something that, that you received a paycheck or something. It doesn't have to be a monetary thing.
Right.
It could very well be something you checked off your list. I went grocery shopping today. Why can't we celebrate that? That was something, that was an accomplishment, right? That was an accomplishment that you did. And some people are like, I don't have a joy list. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You totally do, right?
I mean,
you organized
today.
your pantry. You organized your pantry today. You really wanted to do it for a very long time. You did it today. Celebrate it, people. Celebrate. If you can't find something to celebrate yourself. Celebrate that you got out of bed today. Celebrate that, anything, that you picked up the phone or you texted somebody you hadn't texted in a while just to say hi because you reached out. You could find anything, right? You took your dog to the groomers, right? Anything. You can literally celebrate anything. Now, my step that I always take the extra is that when I feel like I did a really good joy list, like I really knocked it out of the park, I frame it and I put it on my bedside table.
Aww.
And so I have this really pretty frame. It's on really nice pink paper. And it's, I rewrite the list so my handwriting's pretty too. And then it's there. And then when I wake up in the morning, I see it. When I go to bed at night, I see it. And it keeps the joy alive in your brain and what you're telling yourself so that you can be a constant reminder to yourself that you are amazing.
I love it.
Right? And you're doing it on a cycle, like on a psych level, right? You're not just telling yourself, because when you speak, you hear yourself. So it get out of your own head and tell yourself, right? Yeah. I really succeeded today. I nailed that audition.
Yeah.
I didn't get the part, but I nailed it, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like, feel good, feel proud of yourself, and start praising yourself. So the things you can do in the morning before we move on to anything else is a gratitude list. Now I've always been grateful. One of my mantras is gratitude is my attitude, and I hashtag that everywhere. So gratitude is my attitude, and every night before I go to sleep, I kind of give thanks back to your higher power or whatever it is, and I fall asleep to those words because it's important to me. But in the morning, I just learned this, actually writing it out. So not only just thinking the words is something that I've always done, or I've hashtagged gratitude is my attitude. I have been physically writing out a gratuity list, and I was doing it before, and then I stopped, and I was like, I don't know, but I don't know. It's powerful to me right now in this time, and I'm really feeling the vibe on it. It starts my day. Just, things are happening. I feel so amazing, and I'm putting it out there in the universe. The universe is responding, and it's just powerful.
Yeah, I have little Post-it notes in my bathroom to remind me every day that, I am good enough. And I also have a journal. Literally just picked it up at the store, and I write things that I'm grateful for every single day. So that really helps as well. And I end my day with 3 things that I'm grateful for. So I think that's pretty cool.
Your joy list.
So this book, did it take you long to write this? Because I feel like because you're such a positive person, I feel like you sat at the computer and went da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And I feel like this book was very easy for you to write because of the type of person that you are.
Okay, I want to say yes and no to that.
Okay.
Yes, because you're right. I mean, positivity is flowing from me a lot quicker than it used to. So it is easier that way as well. But I am privileged enough to have had some amazing women to contribute to this book. And that is something that makes this book that more powerful, because some of these women, let me reverse a little bit. All of these women, I said some of them, and really it's all of them, have amazing stories to tell and to contribute to what makes them femme fabulous. And I think it came out at the perfect time because of the whole Me Too movement, even though this has nothing to do with the Me Too movement, but has everything to do with a female voice. And I didn't do it because I'm like rah female feminist. I did it because I think men have big platforms, and women were never really given the spotlight a lot of the times. Women are huge contributors, and they always have been. I think right now, because we are recognizing it,
right.
I think it's super important to bring it to the forefront. And so I love men. I think what they do and contribute to our society is equally as powerful. One day we will get to a balance, and that's a political thing that I generally don't like to talk about because it's such a touchy subject for everywhere. But I am all about empowering other women as well as of receiving the empowerment from other women. I think that's important that we, become sisters, and you and I are twinning.
We are totally twinning.
Still twinning. It's like looking in a mirror. Honest to God, like you are like now. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you're gorgeous. That means I'm gorgeous.
That's right. We are gorgeous. There we go.
Yeah,
we should be doing like a twinning podcast together or something. Maybe we should.
The Cook and Vivolo show, right?
Or Vivolo and Cook show. Either way works.
That's awesome. Yeah. So some of the ladies in this book, all of the ladies in this book have a unique story. And it's their, what they've done in society, how they're contributing. Joan Kelly Walker, let me just say, she is a powerhouse, that woman. She inspires me on a daily basis. So I got to meet her a few years ago, which, I was very blessed to do that. I wrote a blog about her and whatnot. And over the course of the years, I've gone to some of her events that she's invited me to and whatnot. And we've become closer and whatnot. And so when I was writing Femme Fabulous, I originally thought, who do I want in this book that represents the message that I'm trying to put forward? And being fabulous and being a woman, what encompasses that? Well, Joan Kelly Walker does so much work in philanthropy. I don't know. I can't say that.
Philanthropy. Oh my goodness.
It's a hard word.
You know what we're talking about.
Philanthropy.
There we go.
There we go. Woo,
Philanthropy,
got it.
yes.
Such a tongue twister
It
for
is.
me. I try not to say it, honestly. It's a tongue twister.
I can't do it either, so we're good.
But the work she does in philanthropy is amazing. She is such a huge contributor to giving back. I mean, I literally, that's what made me fall in love with her. Besides everything else she does, like red carpets and Red Carpet Diaries is what she does. She was on The Real Housewives of Toronto, which is probably what most people recognize her from. But I strongly advise you to look into the other things that she does, because she's not just a housewife from Toronto. She is way more than that. And she gives back wherever she can. So she deals with the Breakfast Club of Canada.
That's important.
So she designed her own line of clothing. Okay, so I just want to say wow to that in the first place. I'm a huge fan of fashion. Like I love fashion, and I know nothing about it, but I love it. So she designed her own line, which I do have pieces, and I try to wear them on any kind of, big platforms to help promote her and what she does. Because every item that is purchased, she gives back to the Breakfast Club of Canada. She donates back to them. Every single item. I mean, when you want to talk about women, empowering women, like right there, that sums it up, right? So she's exclusive to Walmart.ca. Okay. So you can't actually walk into a Walmart just yet. I don't know if she's working on that or not, but Walmart.ca, it's all online. It is so priced accordingly for every budget. Honestly, I had jaw-dropping moments when I was looking at $39.99 for a beautiful dress. And that, yeah.
And I kind of feel like, with everything you've accomplished in your life, that sounds like the next direction that you want to go in personally. So you're giving back with these amazing books, with amazing information on how people can be the best that they can be. You're offering advice to people on how to make their lives better. And I kind of feel like there's so much more that you've got up there that you're just, I think the years to come, we're going to see a lot more of you. And I think that this is just the beginning. Do you feel that inside?
Absolutely. So I love to give back. I said I was a giver. And that is really what makes me feel good. And it's a primary motivator for me, because I want to be the best role model I can be to my children. I always go back to my children, mom first, right? So I have a children's book that's scheduled to come out in the spring.
I did not know this. Apparently, I didn't do my research
well
enough.
I don't promote it too much because I'm not in the final stages yet.
Okay.
When I get close to the final stages, then I usually put it out there.
Exciting.
So it's a children's book. I have promoted it a little bit. I pushed the deadline back because on multiple, many reasons why. But now I figure spring was a good time, and the principal of my daughter's school approached me and was like, I didn't know you were an author. And anyway, we were speaking about it, and I told him about the children's book. And I may be privileged enough to go into the school and speak to them in regards to that book, because there's always a lesson behind every children's book, right? So
is this the book that was supposed to be released January 2019?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you know what? I did see that.
You did do your research.
But I didn't put it together that it was a children's book.
Right. So tentatively, it's called Friendella. I did see that.
I
don't know if I'm going to change the name or not. I'm still humming and hawing over Friendella. One of my main reasons to do a genre for children's book is because my daughter really wants to illustrate it. So I'm like, how can I make that happen for you? I'm going to write a children's book and you can illustrate it.
Now, is this the daughter that just started her own YouTube channel?
Yes.
Adorable. She has this video, and maybe we can link it below. And for those of you that are listening right now, it's so cute. I think it's her first video, and she's unboxing a Harry Potter box. Yeah. And she's just so adorable. And the camera starts, and she's like, okay. And then she's like, let me move the dog out of the shot. And then she moves the dog, and she's just like, okay, here we go. She is so cute and comfortable in front of the camera, and I would love to see a book illustrated by her, because I just think she's so full of sass.
Yeah. You know what? She is. And sometimes I look at that and I'm like, okay, obviously I'm modeling this behavior to her, but I don't think I'm so sassy in front of the camera. But that maybe is what she gets from it. I don't know.
And that's okay. I mean, I just think she's got a creative outlet now. And
She's got self-confidence. And so I'm doing my job as a mom.
That's
Right.
it.
So
That's it.
that's the important part.
Now, for somebody that just wants to learn how to be more fabulous, and they want to read this book and be inspired and read about these amazing women in this book, how can someone get their hands on a copy of this book?
Okay, I sell out really fast through my website. It's joannevivolo.com, and then you can either do forward, what is that? Forward slash shop, or just go on joannevivolo.com and then click on the little books or shop icon on the top. But like I said, I sell out really fast because, for one, I have them priced lower than you can get them on traditional platforms. And I can personalize it for you. So if you want something, if gifting it, people buy them a lot as gifts. And
That's
then
amazing, yeah.
It's extra special when it's personalized from the author, right? So they do sell out quickly. And I don't tend to stock a lot of stuff. Because, well, it's just a whole new thing. But you can get them on Amazon, amazon.com, amazon.ca. Also on Lulu, I think it is.
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble. Like it's across all the platforms on the internet for any kind of outlet to purchase books. Amazon.com, amazon.ca is the most popular in terms of being able to access it quickly. They don't come personalized through Amazon. So either way.
But they arrive quickly. Amazon's great. So get a copy, Femme Fabulous, and go to the website because you have 5 books, I believe. Is it 5?
Yes,
You're
5.
author of 5 books. And you might as well pick up a copy of all of them because they are priced really great and they're all very informational and very, very inspiring.
Thank you. I'm just going to add that a lot of people, there's 2 types of people who like to physically hold books and then people who like to hoard books.
I
am too.
Yeah.
So I always want to offer a paper copy. But I received a lot of feedback that people that commute and stuff, they don't want to be carrying books or whatnot. They like digital downloads. And if you've ever been on a train or in our local area, the GO train, and people are reading off their devices, off their computers, their laptops, or even their cell phones a lot more now than physically holding a book. And I understand. I mean, I used to do the train all the time, and the Harry Potter books are like huge. Yeah. I don't know. So they were a little hard to carry around, even though this is fairly, light and the texture on it is amazing.
I know. I keep feeling it. I don't know if you've seen it. I keep touching it, and the colored photos in here are outstanding as well. So
you can't put out a fabulous book without it being visually. And like all your sensories have to be touched with this. So the texture of this book is so soft. It's almost like a velveteen-ish, silkish.
I do love it. I do love it.
When I first I rub my cheek on it a little bit because it's so soft. You're like, what material is this?
It is very soft, and your photo is just outstanding on the cover. I mean,
I am wearing a Joan Kelly Walker dress.
It's stunning.
It's a beautiful dress. Like everyone, just go to the website and look at that dress. It's and it's under $40. Just
really,
just so you know, it is the best dress. You could put a black jacket on this and use it for like black attire. You can wear it for a picnic. They're so versatile. Like I don't even I do not get a commission on her dress sales. Just so we're clear, and this is not sponsored at all.
No,
I am so in love with her clothing, and she's expanding too. She's got winter coats. She's got a new spring line coming out. I don't know. I haven't followed up on her just yet, but she's like, she's doing some kind of fashion street fashion. I don't know. I'll have to look into that, but she's doing more with fashion now, which is amazing. Over and above that, I also want to give a little bit of credit to Vicki Gunvalson. I don't know if anybody out there is a housewives guru like I am. I like the housewives of anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Like these ladies are so entertaining. But over and above their entertainment, they are powerhouses for companies, and they build things. Vicki really struck a chord with me though, because she built Kodo Insurance on her own from the ground up. She is so successful with that right now. And I don't say that to be like, rubbing everybody's face. Look how successful. It's just, I want the message to come out that she built this right from the beginning. And now she is like uber successful. She's brought her son into it and everything else. So she has built her own empire because she believed in herself.
That's it.
She knew her product and she found the niche for it, right? So, kudos to her. If you think that you have something to offer to somebody, go for it. Do it. I guarantee there's people out there that need it or want it.
And I know that for me, I wanted to do a podcast for so long. And I just kept saying, no one's going to listen. And I had all these negative thoughts in my head. And finally, just one day I said, nope, I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to do it because I love it. And if I love it, other people will love it as well. And so using these positive messages really, really helps. I can't even tell you how much telling yourself a positive message and giving yourself, having a gratitude journal or a what did you call it? A joy list or a joyful list?
Joy list, yeah.
A joy list, how important that really, really is. And the older you get and the busier you get, it's really hard to stop and go, okay, this is happening to me now, but there may be a reason for it. And I'm grateful for the fact that my kid just spelt red wine on my brand new white carpet. Or, the dog just ate, a pill that was dropped on the floor or whatever. There's always a reason that things happen and you just have to find a reason to be grateful for it.
Absolutely. So I have somebody who follows me on social media. Her name is Sarah, and she she's fearful of public speaking. Like this is something that she's kind of feared, and she's working on getting over her fears, right? Like getting past your self-imposed limitations. And so she was asked to speak at a family function because there's a big celebratory thing that's happening. And, immediately she was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? I can't do this. I'm scary, right? But I was like, listen, first of all, this is the universe giving you this opportunity. You talk about getting past your own limitations and getting past fear. And, fear shacked up with me for many years. Like her and I were like best friends. I actually wrote a blog on it. Like I kicked that bitch out faster than I could, say bye to her. So, so she's doing it. So now she's doing it and she feels confident. But with that, when I said I don't sugarcoat things to people and I give people constructive criticism, I also said to her, listen, it may not be perfect, right? You might stutter, you might get up there and be like, I lost my train of thought. The fact that you're doing it, every single time you do it gets easier, gets a little better. You start to master it. Now you look back and you say, oh, I didn't like this, or I wasn't prepared for this, but next time I will be, right? Like I have to wear contacts when I do auditions, and I wasn't bringing my glasses with me, and driving home, I got something in my contact I couldn't see. And I was like, damn, I need to bring my glasses with me. So if I ever have to pull my contacts out, I can have a place to go to resolve the problem. So having backup plans takes off that anxiety, takes a little bit of that fear away, because we always think of the what ifs.
Yeah.
Stop thinking of the what ifs and change them into why nots. I write about that too.
Oh,
so
I love it. I love it. And when I wrap up the podcast, I always ask the guests 3 things. I ask them, name 3 things that you are grateful for.
Oh my goodness. Well, my kids, right? I'm a mom first. I'm always grateful for my kids. I am incredibly grateful for the amount of opportunities that are coming my way that I'm no longer turning away. We won't even get into that. So I'm grateful for the opportunities. I'm also grateful for platforms like this and for you for inviting me onto your you know what? When you had asked me, when you reached out to me and asked, I did a joy dance. I was like, I was so excited. Not only are you beautiful, and I swear to God, we twin. And
the more I look at you, I'm freaking out. Your eyes look like my eyes, right? And I'm looking.
Only you have beautiful lashes on. That I can't. Yeah. I'm not going to kiss you, I promise. But yeah, honestly, I was so I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. I'm so grateful for everything that is in my life, but I find the more gratitude that I truly feel. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm grateful. You have to feel it.
Yeah.
And I really am. And so though, I love life again. There was a time when I was like, okay, gosh, let's just get through this. How many years do I have left, right? Like we might live until 90.
You're going to make me cry.
Right? So I love life again. Now, I'll personally invite you, but I'm personally inviting everybody else out there too. I'm doing a book sign at Chapters Indigo on the Stoney Creek Mountain. So it's fairly close to us. I don't know where your viewerships are from. It's the Heritage Green Shopping Center, I think it is, up on the Stoney Creek Mountain by 20 Highway. Is that it? Anyway, I'm doing that on January 26th from 12 to 4. Now, if weather holds out, I'm supposed to do one tomorrow, but I'm not. I think I'm going to cancel that. We've got a major storm coming in.
I know, and I'm supposed to be going to Barrie to do another podcast tomorrow. So I'm thinking you need to be rescheduled.
Yeah, you need to either podcast through like ISBN lines or something. But yeah, you
gotta get on.
You need to put your bunny slippers on and hang out with Puppy.
That's it. But you know what though, I am grateful that you came by here because I've known you for a long time and I've been following you and your messages are so positive and in a world of so much negative crap.
Yes.
And just to have someone so refreshing that has been through tough times and crap times and pulled through and is able to say, listen, I lived this crap and now I'm telling you life gets better.
It does. But you know what? Okay, so many people that follow me, I don't know what they think. And personally, I have no control over what they think. But I generally don't broadcast any of the like crappy things that happen to me. I don't want to waste my energy on it or my focus on it. So I don't like sit there and say, guys, you know what? I spent 4 hours on the road. This audition, I didn't get it. I keep saying auditions because this is a constant in my life right now. But I don't dwell on any of that. I only want to dwell on all the positive things because we need that in our life. There's way too many people with, mental health issues that don't want to hear more about other people's negative problems, or I don't know, maybe it makes other people feel good when other people are doing worse than them. But you should be feeling better when other people are doing great. Look at it. Be the role model for it, right? And find something. Find your greatness. Find your shine and never dull it for anybody, right? Like shine for yourself and don't worry about anybody else.
You are fabulous. Femme fabulous. You are femme fabulous. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Oh my God, my pleasure.
Sam Cook Live. I appreciate you so much.
Sam Cook Live. Let's go, girl. Woo! Thank you.
Thanks.